Hey class, welcome to week 4 of BUAD 201. This is going to be an online week this week, but I do want to remind you that next week, week 5, we will be meeting in class live. So before we dive into week 4, let's take a look at our syllabus and go over a few items. So today during week 4, we're going to look at chapter 5, and we're also going to go over your APA report, which is going to be very important for next week, because next week we have a librarian coming in to speak to you about researching and writing an APA report and researching using the Cal State Fullerton library system. So it's very important that you are in class next week during week 5. In addition, we're also going to be going over your group project. So you will be sitting with your groups next week. When you come into class, I will have your groups. I will have you in different groups on the overhead projector screen. And when you walk in, you will see which table number you will sit at, and you will sit at that corresponding table number that is next to your name on the projector screen. And this will be your group you will be working with for the semester. So let's go ahead and go back to this week. So this week we're going to look into Chapter 5 and your APA report that you're going to have to complete this term. Please keep in mind your APA report will be due during that final week of the semester, which is during finals week. Even though you will have all term to work on this report, it's really important that you make sure you begin soon, because it will take time to complete the report and put pieces together. And you will upload your report. If you scroll down to week 17, you will see the APA report link. This is where you're going to upload it. So let's go ahead and click on it. So your APA report is here on this Word document. We're going to go ahead and download it. Once you're complete with your report, you're going to upload it here under week 17 by December 21st. So our final is on December 19th, which is a Wednesday, but I'm going to give you 2 extra days to complete the APA report, just in case you want to throw all those last-minute hours into studying for your final exam. At least you'll have a couple days after to get your APA report in. So right now, don't worry too much about the format, because the librarian is going to be going over the actual formatting for APA and showing you how to research. I just want to go over this assignment so that way when she comes to class next week and she explains it, you're going to have a good understanding of what you need to do, since now you know what you need to complete your APA report on. So for your task, you're going to research an entrepreneur. It's going to be a founder or an owner of a company. You must interview the entrepreneur in person or over Skype. This needs to be your primary research. So pretty much you need to get face-to-face with this person, whether it's face-to-face over the computer or face-to-face in person. You're to write an APA short informational report that provides information from outside resources which tie in with what you discuss with the entrepreneur about their company or organization. The outside sources need to support their business ideas and strategies. Pretend as if you are going to give this report back to the entrepreneur. You will want to find outside resources which support their ideas discussed when you interview them. And again, in APA formatting, you need to write in third person. So let's say you're interviewing an entrepreneur, and this entrepreneur discussed how the impact of social media has helped their business grow and reach customers much faster. Now you could find credible sources to show how social media has helped businesses grow. Use that information to support what the entrepreneur discussed. So when you're writing an APA informational report and you're providing information that this business owner says, you need to support what they say. So if they say that social media has helped their business grow, find somewhere using the library, which the librarian will show you how to do, whether it's online or in the library itself. And you need to find evidence to support this. Maybe you could find an article that was printed in the New York Times which shows that a study was done that businesses in today's digital age of marketing are using social media because it boosts sales 50%. So you can use that information. So for example, when you're writing your APA report and you write the owner of company A, B, and C discussed how social media has helped grow their business substantially over the last year. Then now you would insert your information you found in your article. Then you would write, According to the New York Times, social media marketing has helped businesses increase revenue over the last year. And then you would put in parentheses where you found it and the year. And the librarian is going to show you how to do that. So that's what you need to do. You need to find 10 resources that tie into your actual APA report to support 10 different things that you discussed. So some questions to ask in your interview are listed here, but don't limit yourself to just these questions. What activities are important to the success of your company? How important is business comm to you and why, etc., etc. So I added some questions here. You don't have to ask these questions, but when you go in for an interview, make sure you have 10 to 20 questions ready to ask. So that way you can know what you're going to talk about and you could kind of guide the interview to where you want to go. So always make sure before you go interview someone, make sure you have an idea of what questions you want to ask. And very important, please don't interview someone who is the owner of a franchise, such as a Starbucks or a Subway or McDonald's. Have someone who owns something. Maybe they're an entrepreneur in what they own. You know, maybe they own 4 or 5 different small markets, supermarkets. That's a good person to interview. Or maybe you have someone who owns their own .com and they sell products on this .com nationwide. You know, this is an entrepreneur. You know, and please do not ask me to use close family and friends. I don't want you interviewing people you know. The whole point of this is to try to get in front of someone you don't know. That is the challenge, and that's something you need to work on. So part 1, interview the entrepreneur. Part 2, research and gather information helpful to the entrepreneur. So after you interview them and you have an idea of what they talked about, go find research that you can use in your APA report that you could cite in your APA report as one of your 10 sources. You're going to have to cite 10 sources, which we'll talk about in a little. Part 4, which is 6 pages minimum. Compose an APA short informational report addressed to the person you interviewed. 2 pages of the report should be a short update that focuses on what the entrepreneur discussed, and at least 4 pages should discuss 3 noteworthy news items, such as maybe competition, recent activities, or growth projections of the industry, or maybe there's legislation affecting the business. You know, maybe someone, you interviewed an entrepreneur who has a company that uses a lot of gas-powered products, and maybe there's now legislation passing on certain gas-powered products that need to go electric. You know, that's just a small example, but just to kind of give you an idea. But anything you feel necessary for the business, which tie into the answers your entrepreneur gave you during the interview. These are your outside references that should support what was discussed in the interview. And then part 5, which is 1 page, compile a reference list in standard APA style containing at least 10 resources related to the subject. These sources, which is your secondary research, should be reputable, useful, and recent. They need to be cited in the text of the report. Again, in correct APA style. Incorrect attribution will result in a substantial grade reduction. So guidelines for submission. You have your title page, which is 1 page, your report, which is 6 pages, and your reference list, which is 10 entries on your reference page. And your purpose, you're going to demonstrate information accuracy and competency. I want to make sure you can gather information, include it in a report, write it out APA style, and provide documentation to support what you're writing. Your assessment measures, I will grade this assignment for thoroughness, accuracy, and clarity of content, proper citation of sources, and professional presentation on how you write it. The sources used in reference must be cited in the body of the short informational report. Write your report in APA format. So whatever 10 references you list in your reference page, you need to have those 10 cited somewhere in the body of your APA report. You can also look at APA guidelines found here, which Purdue Al goes over. And this gives you general APA guidelines, and the librarian is going to be going over it next week as well too when we meet live. So the library instruction session provided will be crucial to your success. Please see the syllabus for your date, which is going to be during week 5. And now here's a possible outline of your APA short informational report. You have a title page, which is 1 page, your interview discussion, which is 2 pages, and then your topics, which is 4 pages. You don't have to abide by this. This is just to kind of help you out, give you an idea of what I'm going to be looking for. So once you're done with your APA report, you can even upload it early. You can click your Add Submission button here, and it will upload. So if you want to upload it early in the semester, by all means, feel free to. And you can upload it here under week 17 when it is due. So again, reminder, your APA report is due Friday, December 21st by 11:55 p.m., which is Friday night, 11:55 p.m. And I also included a PowerPoint here for you as well too, which discusses APA and how to write an APA. It's a formatting and style guide completed by Purdue Al. Feel free to go through this. It gives you an idea of what your title page should look like. You don't need an abstract page in your APA report. You're okay. If you want to add one in there, you can, but you do not need one. And then other items as well. So what I'd like to do now is go over your Chapter 5 lecture. Make sure you have your Week 4 class activity document open. This needs to be completed by the end of this week, which is going to be Tuesday, September 25th. Make sure you answer our activities as we've done in the past. Write your name here. And as we complete each activity, you're going to write your responses here. And once you're done with the lecture, you can go ahead and upload it here by the end of the week. So let's go ahead and take a look at Chapter 5. So Chapter 5, Organizing and Drafting Business Messages. This is going to be crucial to the success of your in-class writing assignments because your in-class writing assignments are going to be business messages. So this is going to give you a good foundation of what you need on how to organize and actually write. So again, make sure you have the Week 4 class activity document open. And as you watch this lecture, you can go ahead and pause once you get to the weekly activities and complete your lecture, complete each of the activities, which I believe there are 3 this week. So researching background information. So gathering background information is the first step. You want to collect information about a certain topic so you know what you're going to write about. For your in-class writing assignments, you're going to be provided with background information. You're going to be given a prompt, and you're going to have to write a business message on that prompt. So it's important to make sure that you gather information and you pull information from that information you're given. And before drafting a direct message, ask yourself the following to avoid inaccurate messages. So what does the receiver need to know about this topic? Make sure to include it in there. What is the receiver to do? Make sure to include. Do they need a reply to you? Do they need to call you? Do they need to do something by a deadline? And how is a receiver to do it? By email? Do they need to call you? And when must they do it? By what date? You want to be specific. If you want to tell someone, please make sure to get back to me, don't say at your earliest convenience or next week. Give a date. Please get back to me by this upcoming Wednesday, July 18th by 5 o'clock p.m. That way they have an exact date and time of when they need to respond to you, And what will happen if the receiver doesn't do it? If you don't respond back to me by this date, then, I can't give you your credit, or I can't give you your refund, or, our project will be late, whatever it may be. You want to make sure that you provide that direction. So you have 8 different research methods that your book talks about. I don't want to get into too much detail about this, but it's good to have an idea of the different types of research methods. You have informal and formal. Informal is going to be something that can be done much more quickly, such as maybe searching company files, talking with your boss, maybe interviewing the target audience, asking them right there on the fly some questions, or conducting a quick informal survey. Hey, can you answer these 5 questions and let me know? Then you have more formal research methods, such as maybe you need to access electronic sources, so you need to email someone to get permission to access these electronic files. Searching manually, this is something that's going to take a little bit more time, but at the same time, this is something that may provide you more information. Maybe you need to investigate primary sources by going up to someone, conducting an interview that you would have to schedule, or even conducting a scientific experiment, such as maybe a survey, formal survey. So for your class activity 1, it's important to be sure to research information before diving into a message, whether it's a letter, an email, or a memo, and writing it. There's informal and formal methods of doing this, and each has a significant value. So I want you to pick one of these research methods to discuss with the class, but you're going to do it on your own since this is an online week, and it's in your online book on 5-1A or 5-1B, these 8 items. So you work as a customer relations team in Nordstrom's marketing department at South Coast Plaza Mall. You've received several emails from unhappy customers stating they did not have the help they needed while shopping during the month of December. Since this is a high season of shopping, there could be several reasons why this may have happened. Your team needs to send an email to the VP of Marketing explaining why you think this could have happened using the research method you chose. So in 3 to 4 sentences, discuss how you can use a research method to gather information about the issue. How can you apply the results to the message you will be sending? Was this the research method you feel was best to gather information for this situation? If yes, why? If no, which research method do you think would have worked best? So go ahead and complete this class activity once you're done, or go ahead and complete it. Pause this video. Once you're done, go ahead and click play, and the video will resume with the rest of your lecture. So generating ideas and organizing information. So not all information is gathered through research. Sometimes fresh ideas must be generated, and brainstorming is the most common tool, and it can unleash remarkable innovation. So let's look at an example. Let's say you're creating a brochure for recruiting students to the business group at Cal State Fullerton. What you're going to want to do, how can we recruit these students? What are things we can do? Start thinking of things and start writing them down. No idea is a bad idea, and the more ideas you have, the more you have to choose from, and the better chance you have of finding the best idea. And grouping ideas to show relationship will really help you. And this is important when you're writing business emails, memos, or letters. You don't want to be all over the place. You don't want to jump from an idea to an idea and then back to another idea and then back to another idea. You want to keep things consistent. Keep the ideas together. And you can always create a format outline of your message. When you're writing a direct message in class or a negative message, create an outline. As you can see here, have your opening, a body, and a closing. Things you want to write about. It'll help you really organize your ideas. So for your class activity 2, in recent years, enrollment for the Business Writing Club at CSUF has been decreasing. You are now the new president of the Business Writing Club, and you need to come up with some ideas on how to increase enrollment. So for this activity, in less than a paragraph, write down some things you would do to brainstorm with other club members on how to increase enrollment. Would you use one of the 8 research methods discussed? If so, why? If not, explain what you would do. So go ahead and complete this activity. Pause this video now, and once you're ready to resume, go ahead and click play. So let's take a look at the opening when you're writing a message. So you have an indirect versus a direct opening. Indirect you usually use when you have bad news. For example, you don't want to be direct when you give someone bad news. You want to be indirect. It's just like when the university sent you out your letters of acceptance for getting into the university. They opened up in a direct way. And in this case, they said, dear student, congratulations on being, congratulations, you have been accepted at Cal State Fullerton for the 2017-18 year. So right away, you know what the letter is about. Whereas maybe the students who weren't accepted, they may have used the indirect approach where they would have said, dear student, thank you for applying to Cal State University for the fall 2018 semester. We have received a record amount of applicants this year, and this is only because our university is experiencing a high volume of applicants. They may go on to write a few things, and then they're going to go into the bad news, and they're going to say, at this point in time, you have not been accepted into the university, but we encourage you to apply for the following semester, whatever it may be. So you have an indirect approach and a direct approach, and those are things you need to consider. Direct has 3 advantages. Saves the reader time because right away you know you got accepted into the university. It was direct. It sets a proper frame of mind. You know exactly what this letter is going to be about, and it also reduces frustration. You don't have to look and worry about, hey, did I get accepted or not? Is this, when you have a direct message, right away it tells you the information. So we just talked about some direct news examples and indirect news examples with acceptance and decline letter from Cal State Fullerton when you got accepted, and for those people who got declined. So think of some other ones. What are some other direct and indirect examples? Then you have your body and closing. Understanding the format outline you will use to apply techniques discussed to be more efficient in your writing are important. Create a format and outline. List what you want to write about. This way you can be consistent, it could flow, and it could have a better flow for the reader when they are reading this information because you're going to be more organized. So here's a direct letter format. So your first in-class writing assignment, which you're going to be taking, I believe, during week 7. Let's actually take a look just to be safe. Yeah, during week 7, you're going to have a direct message in-class writing assignment that you're going to have to complete. And this is what your direct letter format is going to do. And I'm gonna look like. I'm going to jump from this screen to the next screen. This is an example of a letter format that we once had in class. So first you have your letterhead, which is the first bullet point, and you can see this is the letterhead here. Then you have your date line, which is right here. Then you have your inside address and salutation, which is your inside address and your salutation. And then you have your subject line and body. And please make sure to have your subject line. The book says this is optional, but when you're writing, whether it's an email, a memo, or a letter, it's extremely important to have a subject line, which is right here. And you could switch these two. You could put the subject line first, or you could put the salutation first. Doesn't really matter. But as long as you have your salutation and then your subject line, you're okay. Then you have the body of the email. Then you have your complimentary close with the organization's name and your author's name, which is sincerely, with all this information. And reference initials you don't need. This is something that you may see down here in the corner. It might say like RP-42958. That way, if you call customer service, they're going to say, hey, please give me the reference letter. That way I have a understanding of, what your letter was about. So this was an example direct message. The students needed to write a welcome letter to to United Airlines customers who just enrolled in the Mileage Plus program. And you could see here's an opening. Welcome to the United Airlines Mileage Plus program. We're excited to have you as part of the United family. We're certain you will enjoy the benefits and perks United Airlines has to offer for your frequent flyers. So right away, it's a welcome message. You can see it's very easy to understand what this letter is going to talk about, what it's about. It sets that frame of mind. Some of the perks for joining include access to tools only United Airlines Mileage Plus members have. So, oh, great. This kind of gives you an idea that this is an exclusive membership. There are several perks we think you will enjoy, and we invite you to view them at our following website, unitedairlines.com/mileage plus benefits. Now, be careful with URLs like this, unitedairlines.com/mileage plus benefits. This one's easy to type in, and you could put it here, but you never want to put a URL that has, that's too long, because then if it's a letter, that person's not going to be able to type in exactly what you have. Here, it's easy. I could see unitedairlines.com/mileage plus benefits. I could type that in, but if it says /mileage plus benefits /UA lowercase LM, QR 125-9, .html. You want to stay away from those unless it's an email, because then you could hyperlink it, and that's fine. No one has to type it. But if it's a letter format like this, you want to make sure that you have, something that's easy to understand. And then here you can see they use the tools in the book. Some of our more popular featured include, and they bullet pointed here, 10% off your first round trip at TickBook, complimentary seat upgrade, discounted partner opportunities. So it's very well organized. It's not a wall of words. Usually a wall of words is one paragraph, and this is separated. The ideas are separated. They're organized. You use the tools such as the bullet points here. Very easy, and it's aesthetically pleasing to look at. And then they have their sign off. We appreciate you becoming part of our family, and we look forward to serving you in the friendly skies. Sincerely, their name, their company name, with their position title, along with contact information, which is extremely important. So for your class activity number 3, this is going to be for your APA research report. I want you to have 2 parts in this third activity. Who will be your ideal candidate to interview for your APA research report? Who would be your backup candidate? This isn't anything set in stone. I just want you guys to get your ball rolling and start thinking of it. You could change it next week if you want. Part 2, write down 3 things you will do to be successful in completing your APA report on time and without rushing at the end of the semester to complete it. So go ahead and complete this class activity. And then once you're done, you can go ahead and upload your class activity sheet here under the week 4 class activity, add submission here. So go ahead and pause this video and complete your last activity, and once you're ready, go ahead and unpause it and we will finish here. So for the items to complete before the start of week 5, complete chapter 5, MindTap digital homework, which you can see here is going to be due on 9/25. Read chapter 6. Reminder, we have a librarian presentation next week, and it's a live class next week. Make sure to be there on time because of our librarian presentation. And if you have any questions, again, please feel free to contact me here. You could call me, text me, email me, whatever's easier. There's no stupid question. If you're lost on anything, just let me know and we'll figure it out. I'm here to help you. I want to make sure that you guys have the best opportunity of passing this class with the highest possible grade that you could possibly earn. So I'm here to help you. Whatever you need, just let me know, and I wish you guys all the best of luck. Good luck.